we go. Greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it, especially if you love the movies? Greetings, Imagination.
I had a dream.
Hashem told you to dance in a tango contest?
A dancing teacher wants to tango with you?
Critics are raving about Tango Shalom. It's clever and inventive, with right chemistry on and off the dance floor.
You're a lunatic!
A funny and thoughtful family film with a warm heart and a playful spirit. From the director of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, that's my Fernando.
Tango Shalom. In select theaters now. Well, greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. It is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is Let's Get Physical Media, episode 44. I had to look. I had to see. And it's not an episode of Let's Get Physical Media if I don't have my compatriot, my favorite German in all the world, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you today?
Greetings, Imagination Connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. And Rob, I have greetings to give to you personally.
Wow.
From my mom.
From your mom?
I showed her the pictures that you sent me from your No Time to Die premiere.
All the way from the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. Was your mom duly impressed? Did she think that guy has Hollywood connections?
Yeah, she said, look at this nice, sympathetic, nice guy.
Sympathetic? Your mom said sympathetic?
Yeah.
Wow,
she said,
okay.
I should.
How do you say sympathetic in German, Dieter?
Sympathisch.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You know, this is a very special episode of this show, not because we've both seen the new James Bond film. We have a guest today.
Yeah, correct.
Rob? Well, I'll tell you, like, you know, sometimes one of the great things about living in L.A. is people just show up, you know? You don't even have to throw a party. Just one day you could be sitting outside at some cafe and some highly placed home video executive just walks in. And they're wearing a mask.
That's Hollywood.
And you still recognize them. They're that important, that amazing that you know, and you lock eyes across a crowded room. And that happened yesterday, Dieter.
Okay.
That happened. Now, I have to say, this person, our guest on today's show, is one of my favorite executives in Hollywood. You know why?
Because she's perhaps connected to a company you like?
I know. Yeah, well, okay. You know. You actually do know. Clearly, you understand why. She, for almost 2 decades, was part of the people that were the custodians of my favorite franchise of all time. Do you know what that franchise is, Dieter? You know what it is. Say it. Say it with me now.
Probably Star Trek. And
oh my God! How'd you know?
She has had something to do with the Next Generation release.
And all the movies. And let's bring her on. She's cute as a button. Her name, Annie Caprillion. Annie, welcome to Let's Get Physical Media. I know I browbeat you into being on the show. And you're here. You are here with us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
To Let's Get Physical Media. Annie, please tell us, who are you and why are you here?
I am your friend. I have been working on DVD since the launch in '97, when I worked for Polygram. And after Polygram was sold, I ended up working for USA Films for a year, and then got a job at Paramount where I was for 17 and a half years.
17 and a half years working for the Mountain. Does the Mountain come to you, or does the Mountain come to Muhammad? What do you do? Like, was Paramount the great place to work? And by the way, can I just say, Paramount, for a while there, you had some of the best transfers in the business. I mean, my God, your transfers were beautiful. Why was that?
A lot of people who care and, do their job well.
Doing their job well. And you were one of those people. So take us back to the dawn of the DVD era. What was that like?
So I was working for Polygram, the late great Polygram Filmed Entertainment, and we were owned by Philips. And as with all the studios that went first into DVD, because of course, as you probably remember, they didn't all jump in at once.
No, they did not. Warner Brothers did.
Warner Brothers did, but you had the companies that were tied to hardware manufacturers like we were, who jumped in first. Warner, of course, were the first out, and they were the first discs I saw. But yeah, I was a mastering person. I mastered movies for a living. I did a lot of post-production. I did editorial. And as our group also handled Polygram video. So I did tons of VHS masters, and we did our laser discs through both Image and Pioneer, which were the two big laser disc companies in town, and I used to deal with them. And then one day my boss said, "Oh, there's this DVD coming up. I want you to manage it," and that kind of changed my life. So
well, if you could just briefly take us through what it means to master a title, because a lot of people don't quite understand what does that entail.
Well, when I was still in mastering, of course, everything was on film. It's not like today where so many movies are shot digitally. So you handle film and put it through what was called telecine. And, of course, with new releases, you have the director sitting in the room, making sure the movie looks like what he intended. I worked on a lot of catalog, too. Polygram owned a company I worked for previously called ITC Entertainment, and I know you know and love many
Thunderbirds and Space. Wait! I'm going to give you a preview of one of the things I have today. Dun 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 dun. By the way, this is the gigantic. But we'll get to that later. But yes,
love that show.
Yeah.
So yes, okay, so going back a little further into my resume, yes, my first job was at ITC. ITC was bought by Polygram, and it turned out to be a great thing for us. We're usually, when a company buys another, you're like, oh, your job's over, but it wasn't like that for us. It just got better. And, I started working on Polygram movies, and Polygram movies were actually well-known and got Oscar nominations, which was new for me because the ITC movies were really, really low budget and nobody really ever saw them. But we did have a great catalog of mainly television, but a bunch of great movies too. So yeah, I would work on catalog transfers, TV show transfers, miniseries, and of course, once I started working for Polygram, I started working on a lot of their new releases too. And like I said, everything back then was definitely all film-based. So it was getting the right and best film elements and transferring it, making it look beautiful. It was really like I started doing a lot of HD transfers towards the end of my mastering life.
It's not over yet, Annie.
No, it's not. I hope not.
It's not over yet.
But yeah, DVD came in 97. Like I said, my boss asked me to manage it.
What was your first DVD title?
The first one officially that I would say we started was Fargo.
Wow.
So if you have the original Fargo release, that was what I call my first disc.
Now, dude, I gotta ask you, were you a home video aficionado? Like Like I was like, you can pry my laser discs out of my cold, dead fingers. I'm like, fuck this bullshit DVD crap. Were you that way too? Did you feel that way?
No, I still collected Laserdisc, of course, but my first DVD player, Rob, was just a Region 1 player. So I could only play US DVDs, because in Germany and the rest of the world...
What
DVD
kind of
was
nationalist are you?
behind.
You actually bought a machine that only played US discs?
Correct. My first DVD player, Rob, could only play
What kind of a German are
US
you?
DVDs.
My
Yes,
God.
right, Rob. We were a little bit behind because Philips wanted to do their own thing. But,
I remember.
Considering the sound system, but finally they got around to using Dolby Digital, and the DVD players finally came here on the market too. But my first player only could play US DVDs. Rob.
So, Dieter, what was your
But
first...
I'm still bought both things back to back, so Laserdisc was still a thing.
Yeah.
But DVDs
Oh, I know.
was catching up really fast.
So, did you buy Fargo? What was your first... I know what my
My
first
first
DVD
DVDs
was.
were probably some Warner titles. I believe Glimmerman, The Seagull.
Why do you admit that? You trash panda. Why do you even say your first DVD was a Steven Seagal movie? Yeah, that's it. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out of the family.
Snapper cases. Okay, Rob. Some of the first Snapper cases were Warner titles.
Mine was Blade Runner. Just saying.
But come on, Rob. I put out the Great Laserdisc from Paramount on Pioneer. Come on.
I understand. All right, Annie, take us back. Take us back to that transitional moment. What was it like when DVD was new?
Well, the good thing about it for me is it was so new, and every one of us who was working on it, were totally green, and you could ask all the stupid questions you wanted because it was so new and different, which was nice. I remember, going to the different facilities we used, and, they do their little show and tell, and discs, of course, were so basic back then compared to, obviously, what we could do, down the line, and menus were simple, and the content was non-existent, or just a few featurettes and trailers or whatever. So it was just really, really basic, and just really learning how it all comes together. But what I didn't realize, of course, was how much time it would take to make a disc, because, again, I was used to VHS. You basically put in an order saying logo, trailer, movie, copyright warning, and make sure it has closed captioning, send me a check cassette. It was really easy. Laserdisc, I had my contacts at Image and Pioneer who would contact me when they needed to release a movie, and all I'd do is give them access to a master. And they did their thing. Those were easy. So when I was put into the position of making DVDs, I thought, that's going to be no big deal. Little did I know what a big deal it was. And, so when I started making discs, the QC part of it was huge. I'd go into the labs and QC the compression myself. It was different. It wasn't like you have today. You have the QC companies that you hire to do these things for you. So I was doing it all. I was looking at every single movie, giving them my notes on the compression. And it was kind of like what I would do when I was transferring a title. I'd look at everything and, say, I don't like this, fix that.
Wow.
Same thing.
Did people hate you? Were you a pain in the ass?
No, I hope not. But yeah, I was looking at everything, making sure it looked as good as possible, bit rates as high as possible. Polygram wanted both widescreen and full screen.
Yes, they did.
So we were doing double-sided discs on every title. So I'd look at both versions, of course.
No, wait. Take us back to that, because that's very interesting. People forget that there used to be double-sided DVDs. So tell us about that. Because the first disc I produced was The Usual Suspects, a polygram title, but it was for MGM, and it was a flipper. It was a flipper, and they wanted we have to have Rob. You have to make it. There's got to be a game. You have to people have to hitting a button, and you get into the special features. I'm like, that's the dumbest shit ever, but we did it, and it was a flipper. So tell us about that.
So in the early days, dual layer discs didn't really exist yet. So we did everything on double-sided flipper discs, which I hated. But
Me too. They were fucking dumb as fuck.
Yeah, and they're really delicate too. They were thinner because of the way they were put together. I had some that would crack, and then they become garbage. But yeah, we were doing both versions, and I couldn't wait until dual layer finally was capable of being made. So started to transition over to doing dual layer. So then I had both versions on one side of a disc as opposed to two sides of a disc. And people, handling the disc became easier because you had a label. You didn't have to worry about fingerprints as much, so that was good. But it was nice once we were able to kill full screen altogether and just do widescreen.
Yeah.
And I have to
thank you, Annie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and I have to say too, of course, we were using masters that were in existence because we were, of course, like all the studios did, releasing movies that we thought would sell and launch the format. So, we did, here, a quick list of the early discs I worked on. Obviously, Fargo, Usual Suspects, its original release, which didn't have much on it.
Before MGM.
Before MGM when we still had it. And I remember we did put the commentary on it, which came from the Laserdisc release. So
I recorded a new commentary with John Ottman, the editor, and now director, but yes.
Yes. But anyway, we did commentaries if there were Laserdisc commentaries, things like that. But like I said, it was very, very simple and basic. And it was a fun time. I'm telling you, that first 6 months of DVD, though, I don't think I worked as many hours during that span on anything in my life. I mean, it just consumed me. I didn't have my own player, so when I'd go home, I'd unplug it from my office and plug it in at home so I could look at discs at home and then take it back to work the next day. I mean, it was just crazy.
Wow.
So,
Dieter, I have to ask you, back in those heady days when DVD first came out, I mean, we were buying them, but I was like, fuck these, I'm still going to buy my Laserdiscs. Were you that way? I mean, what was it like when DVDs first came out? Warner Brothers was the first company that really went all in to the format. Did you buy a lot of them?
Actually, I would say I switched rather quickly, even if I still bought Laserdiscs to some extent. But you did some, of course, picture comparisons. I still remember a friend of mine came over and we did Cutthroat Island, the comparison, and the DVD looked a little bit better.
What's with you and Rennie Harlan, man? Come on. Cutthroat Island?
What should I say? But the sound from the Laserdisc was still...
it was dope. Superior. I mean, that was the Cutthroat Island Laserdisc is really great. But, I mean, Annie's never been here before, so she doesn't understand your devotion and love to that Finnish fucking director. What is it about? What is it about Rennie Harlan and you? Why do you love him so much?
I loved his movies, Rob. Port Fairlane, Dire 2 was a nice sequel. Cliffhanger was great, and Cutthroat Island was fantastic, in my opinion.
That dude just wanted to put his wife in a movie, so he made Cutthroat Island.
Yeah,
I know you're thinking. You're like, oh,
This Longest Good Night.
Yes, it's true. All right. Well, Annie now knows that all of your opinions lack credibility.
I don't
Just
remember when I really made a decision when I would still buy the Laserdisc or the DVD. I don't know when it really became a complete transition, because the DVD rise was really extremely fast. It was. So Annie, I mean, you said that you were going home and taking that player with you. Dieter says, and it was extremely fast. By the way, Rich's Star Wars comic sends in a tired super chat badge. Thanks for that. So Annie, I would ask you, in the heady early days of DVD, did people think it would catch on? I mean, it became one of the most popular home entertainment technologies in history, if not the most. But did they know that at the time, like at the dawn of the format?
I think so. I mean, it obviously was so much better than VHS, which was obviously the format, the big format. Laserdisc was always kind of niche, and I mean, I love my Laserdisc player too, don't get me wrong, but it was obviously so much better not having to flip a disc over to, having your movie cut off half an hour in or an hour in was huge too. So I thought it would definitely catch on. And we were obviously, and I was paying attention to when all the studios would start releasing and doing a little, when I was at the facilities doing a little spying on, are they working on a Disney movie over there? Things like that.
Right.
You never know what you see in a machine room and running on whatever monitor. So I was doing a little spying, definitely.
Well, Annie, I have to say that we just had another. There is another Skywalker. Another Skywalker just sent us $100 super chat. My God, thank you,
Wow.
Another Skywalker. Another Skywalker says, "Big fan of your work, Rob. I rarely get to catch a live airing. I just want to say, keep up the great work." Well, Another Skywalker, thank you for supporting the channel that way. And I'll tell you, I mean, if I'm in a bar drinking heavily, and someone like Annie walks in, the first thing I think about is not, can I get you a drink? It's, hey man, would you come on the show? And then I'll buy her a drink. So, and she is here. This is the kind of work Dieter and I do across the planet Earth. And so, Another Skywalker, thank you so much for supporting the channel in that way. And Annie Comprillion, it's great to have you. So tell us more about the early days of DVD. What was there? Was there problems? Obviously, one of the things about DVD was you had progressive scan. So that was something new. For those of you who don't know, our television system in the United States was 30 frames, interlaced. So, what was that like? I mean, when you had to deal with the limitations of our own electronics, was that a problem?
Not really that I recall being a problem. I do remember one instance. I had a movie called Return to Paradise. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
With Vince Vaughn and Joaquin Phoenix, and we were doing both versions of the movie. I had just finished mastering it, and it was a new release for us. And they found, as they were doing the compression, because of course they would do, to go back to the full frame versus letterbox issue, they would generally compress the full frame first because you have full picture information that you had to compress, and then do the letterbox later because the black, of course, is information you can throw away and put a little bit more bits into the picture. So they would do the full frame first, and when they were doing the compression, I got a call saying, you're missing about 8 frames on the start of Reel 2 of this movie. And I'm like, what? And they found that, yes, 8 frames were clipped at the beginning of the reel change.
Wow.
I should say Video Masters back then, digital Video Masters, usually the movie was split into 2 reels.
Sure.
And then you make a long play off of that. So yeah, they found that 8 frames were clipped when they did Reel 2, so I had to go back in the transfer back in the 8 frames, fix the master, send it back. So that was kind of, in a way, a happy accident, because we wouldn't have necessarily realized that happened.
Now, as many people know, or many people might not know, that happened to The Empire Strikes Back on the THX Definitive Edition of the Laserdisc, the big black box set. I have one. Well, they missed the first. I mean, you probably have the new release. Maybe you don't. But the second side 2 of Empire, was also clipped. I think it was 8 frames or something. How did that how did that happen? Like, what numbnuts didn't do their job right? How did that happen?
I don't know. As far as making a Laserdisc, I'm not sure how that would happen. I would assume somebody punched in their time code wrong and it clipped the beginning of the movie. I don't know.
Well, Dieter, give me a good. God damn it! Say it. Come on.
God damn it!
There we go.
Shouldn't happen, but we all make mistakes sometimes, and I really don't know if somebody would notice 8 frames at the beginning.
Oh, come on.
Of something.
You wouldn't.
You know who would notice? We would notice. What are you saying? We would notice. Don't say
It would
no one notice. Come on now.
I was going to say it would depend on the audio too, because sometimes if it's clipped, you can hear it in the audio. But if it's relatively quiet transition, maybe you wouldn't. So it really would depend on that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once you start speaking other languages to it, you'd probably catch it really fast because all of a sudden your movie's out of sync.
Right.
So
Yeah. Okay. If it's
Did this happen often? No. Okay.
I mean, you did have the occasional hiccup, but no, we were pretty good. I should say too, going back to the letterbox thing, of course, a lot of my early discs were 4x3 letterbox. We didn't have a lot of 16:9 titles back then either. So, I remember actually, I should say, Ghost in the
when
Shell.
girls say we didn't have a lot of 16:9 titles, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm letting you down. Just saying.
And, it was like that even at Paramount. I remember a lot of the early DVDs that Paramount released were 4x3 letterbox. And I remember, we kept telling marketing, it's like, hey, can we do this one over? Because then it would be retransferred and we have a beautiful new transfer, but it's spending the money on a title that they may or may not want to spend, which kind of sucks for the consumer, but what can you do?
Okay, I mean, obviously you worked at Paramount all the way up, to fairly recently. I mean, right before the pandemic. And so you were there when DVD transitioned over to Blu-ray, now 4K. And you've gone from standard def to progressive scan to HD to 4K. What was that like? And how did you manage, like, if there was a catalog title that was going to get made, like, how did you decide what was going to get made? Like, I remember getting, if you think back to the Paramount, the Laserdisc, when they went to the 2-disc, beautiful Laserdisc sleeves, the fold-out versions on heavy cardboard, and now, we don't get what we want, but still, Paramount was always doing great transfers. What was that whole transition like? How was it to be there for DVD, then Blu-ray, and then 4K?
Well,
how did that affect your job?
An HD DVD.
And HD.
That's what I was going to bring up was HD DVD. We were one of
I was gonna stay away from that, but go ahead. Talk about it.
I remember the great Transformers HD DVD.
Star Trek. There was great Star Trek HD DVD box sets.
Yep. We were one of the few studios that were making HD DVD. I think it was us and Warner Brothers that were doing both formats.
And Universal.
No, Universal was the only HD DVD studio. They weren't making Blu-ray at all.
Correct.
So they were the one outlier as far as Blu-ray was concerned. Warner and Paramount was making both formats, and then everybody else was making only Blu-ray. So I didn't mind making both. We were all honestly very much Blu-ray's the better format. Especially once 50s came in, the capacity was obviously going to make the picture look better.
Wait, hang on a second. Explain that to people.
Oh.
The difference between like DVD 25s or 50s. Tell our audience what that is.
Okay, so obviously on a DVD, you have 5 gigs per layer, essentially. On a Blu-ray, it's 25 gigs per layer. HD DVD was 15 per layer. So you have 30 gigs possible versus 50. And of course, 50 will allow you to make a better compression because you don't have to squeeze the movie down as much. It was a huge, huge difference. Though I have to say, of course, in the early days when we were doing both formats, we were doing a compression that worked for both. Even though the compression technology was different, we tried to make the movies look comparable. We didn't want them to be that different. Plus, Blu-ray 50 was a little late in coming. So it was kind of like the early days of DVD where you only had single layer. We had to deal with 25s for a while. So that, again, kept the compressions down a bit more than I would have preferred, but we didn't have a choice. I think Blu-ray came out earlier than it would have if it wasn't for HD DVD. I think we would have had dual layer from launch if we didn't have two competing formats.
Right.
But of course, everybody was battling each other. We want to be the winner. But once Blu-ray got everything lined up and we had those 50s, I mean, it was just, that was the format, definitely. HD DVD did have some good parts to it. I did like the menu flow better. I did like the way it worked better. It was a little bit more flexible as far as like picture-in-picture. There was definitely advantages to HD DVD. It was kind of a shame that they didn't work together and bring all the good parts of each together. But when you put all of it next to each other, we were definitely siding with Blu-ray being the one. And I think it was 2008 CES. We were all going, of course. And just before CES was when Warner dropped the bomb that, hey, we're dropping HD DVD. And it was kind of, I felt sad because the Toshiba guys we were working with for HD DVD were really, really great to work with. And they had their big booth set up at CES, which was pretty much deserted no man's land. And the Blu-ray booth right next to them was just jumping with people because, of course, that just killed it right there. And we put a hard stop on every HD DVD we were making at the time.
Well, our own trash panda here, Dieter Bastian. Dieter, you still have HD DVD special editions, don't you?
Correct, and I still have my Toshiba player, bro.
Wow,
Haven't fired it up for a long time, but I still have it.
Well, now that Annie's on the show, do you feel like you're just going to be like running out? I'm going to fire up this Toshiba player. I mean, you want to.
I should do that, Rob, just to check if it still works.
Yeah, I mean, because it's been what 13 years since you fired it up last, 2008.
No, but a few years probably, yes.
All right, well, okay.
Rob, there were titles. That not that smearing that Blu-ray did, the thing was untouched, and Transformers was a big title back then.
Yeah,
and that was a Paramount title. That was a Paramount title.
And I was going to say, I do still have my HD DVD player in a box. I haven't touched it, honestly, since then.
That's what she said.
And I sold off all my HD DVDs except one, and the one I kept was Transformers.
Wow, because is that because you worked on that title?
Yes, as I always say, I bled more on that particular disc than any of the others.
Is that because of Michael Bay, or just because you wanted to make a good title?
No, I mean not Michael Bay as much, but just all the content and stuff that we did on it. It was trying.
Help me, Annie. It had some feature about the menu switching. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
All of that.
Up the player with the internet, I believe.
Yeah.
Switch the menu something.
Yeah.
Was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of bells and whistles on it, and that's why I said I bled more. I kind of wish I kept my Mission Impossible discs too, because that would be the next. Yep. We did MI 1, 2, and 3. And 3 had a picture-in-picture commentary, which, as far as I know, still hasn't seen the light of day on Blu-ray yet. That was another one I would bug marketing about all the time. I wish I kept that disc too. I didn't.
You know what? It doesn't matter that anything that glorifies J.J. Abrams' film work, it's fine.
But it was J.J. and Tom, and it was actually a really entertaining PIP commentary.
What?
So.
What?
And I liked MI3. I mean, at the time, it was definitely the best of the three. So,
what? How dare you?
I don't like MI1. I know I'm.
Dare you? Brian De Palma and John Woo, and you're coming out on this show on my channel in favor of MI3, a J.J. Abrams joint.
What's wrong with me? I know.
Yeah, wasn't the MI3? Wasn't it a double HD DVD?
Probably because they had to give you, because if you had to have some picture-in-picture bullshit from J.J. Abrams, you needed a separate disc.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of horrible. You know what? I don't even realize. It seemed to be a good idea to have you on the show, but now that I know that you, I'm kidding.
It was funny too because where our offices were on the lot, we were back near the stages where they shot Star Trek for many, many years. It was called Star Trek Alley, and JJ shot MI3 and Star Trek 09 on the same stages, so we got to see a lot back there. It was kind of neat. Tom Cruise had the biggest trailer I ever saw in my life. Out of all the trailers for celebrities, big stars that I've seen on the lot, his was by far the biggest I've ever seen.
Well, because he's short. He needs something to compensate.
I never personally talked to him, but, you walk by all the time and, they recognize your face if they see you walking by all the time. And he was very friendly, he'd smile at you. He seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I met him once and had an opportunity to talk with him for about an hour. He's a great guy. One of the most impressive celebrities I've ever met, for sure.
Yeah, and he was almost never in his trailer. He was always out and about, running around, and but he seemed pretty friendly. So,
well, now let me ask you this: when we transitioned to HD, and we went from DVD to Blu-ray. Was that something that the studio embraced, or was it scary? Because obviously the everything that had been transferred up to that point was useless. You basically had to go back and start from scratch. What was that? What was that world like?
Yes and no, but even making DVD, you weren't mastering in standard def; you were mastering in HD. So you had a lot of HD masters that were on the shelf, so to speak. And it was just a matter of, we did not choose the titles we released. The marketing chose the titles we released. So it was a matter of what they wanted to put out.
By the way, fuck them. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Just saying.
Yeah. Anyway, but they were the ones who...
You're not working there anymore. You can come out and say, F those people, because they don't know.
Well, yes and no. I have a lot of friends still there.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We love marketing people in Hollywood. They're fantastic.
There are some that, over the years, the groups have changed. A lot of people I've met, have come and gone, but there are a lot of people who do care at that studio. So.
Okay, I'm just trying to get you to dish the dirt, but all right, that's fine. So, but tell us about that transition. So, like you said, that you were mastering at HD, but you have those things. But then, I would say that Paramount as a studio was always at the forefront of transfers. You guys put out some beautiful stuff. It was... I remember getting Raiders on Laserdisc. I don't know if you were there when they did that, but
I was not.
Paramount did great stuff, and their transfers on Blu-ray. My God, amazing things.
We have a good mastering group working on the movies, so they always did a beautiful job. And they did do a lot of new transfers for titles that we were going to release, once the schedules were published and they knew what was coming, so, and it was a matter of doing new 5.1 mixes and then later Atmos mixes once we were doing UHD. So, it would depend on the title, if they would spend the money, but it happened a lot, which was nice.
Now, were there times when you could influence... what you'd say to marketing, like, no, we need to put out Chinatown. Oh, where is Chinatown in 4K? But if you were, could you influence the marketing department and say, hey, I'd really like to see Chinatown and The Godfather in 4K?
Well, I think you're going to get your wish on number 2. So
really? Are you sure? Am I going to get Godfather in 4K, Annie?
From what I hear, I read the same things you read online, so I think it's coming.
I would hope so.
India came. It's going to come.
What about Chinatown? Maybe.
God, I hope so. Love that movie.
I do too. I have to say now. There was a crisis a couple months back with Mommy Dearest. Couldn't get it. It was supposed to show up. And it didn't arrive. Dieter, do you remember the Mommy Dearest crisis that we had?
Really upset, Rob. Well, for 2 or 3 shows.
2 or 3 shows. I mean, it wasn't just me. It was other heavy hitters in the industry. Annie, what there's a lot of talk these days about a supply chain problem. I mean, we have ships in our LA harbor, like 75 ships waiting to unload their cargo. What is the supply chain like for home entertainment these days?
I have been, obviously, as I think you mentioned, I'm not working now, so I don't really know.
Which is a goddamn shame. How we need to get you placed highly at a studio, if only because you can then feed me insider information, which you never did. I mean, you know what? I would ask you, and you'd be like, you just smile with your cute little smile. You wouldn't tell me shit. You wouldn't tell me shit. You wouldn't tell me anything about Star Trek. You're like... But we still need to get you at a studio just because maybe I could be like, hey, Annie, are we going to get a 4K of this? And you'll be like...
Exactly.
You wouldn't tell me anything. But so explain to people, we only have one replication facility here in, vaguely, North America. But what's up with that? Why suddenly does Columbia have to delay their new box set by 2 weeks? What's up with that? What's going on?
I think obviously it's reduced capacity and high demand. I mean, that's what causes that. So I've been out of it for a while, so I'm not really sure why it's happening like this. Maybe they just can't add in enough lines of production to meet the demand that's going on right now. And of course, we're getting into the holidays where obviously a lot of big releases will come out, and it's a lot of demand for them. So I don't know.
Let me ask you this. When you were tasked to do a special edition, what were some of the things what made a great special edition release for you from the executive studio side? And you were always fighting to make the best special editions possible. What to you made what was the best thing about special editions? Not just the transfer of the film, obviously, but in terms of what were you looking for?
For me personally, obviously, I want special editions on movies that I personally love. New releases always got them. The bigger A titles obviously got them. But on the catalog side, you want special editions on movies that you love. And everybody has their favorites. But ultimately, it's a business, and it has to be done on movies that they think will sell. You'll do Gladiator and Braveheart because they'll sell, or Saving Private Ryan because it will sell. It's harder to get the little movies. I remember, I think HUD was put on the AFI list or the Library of Congress list, and they didn't do anything with it.
Wow.
Things like that. Why wouldn't you? It's on the list now, but that didn't seem to matter. But they would do Chinatown, which was good. So it depends on sales, and there's definitely movies that will sell over and over. That's why you have a million versions of Breakfast at Tiffany's, but you don't on other titles. So.
Well, one of the great things that Paramount finally is doing. Well, they're doing Star Trek. They're doing the director's edition of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and I know you were a champion of that for years. It's been 20 years since you were at Paramount when the director's edition came out in 2001. I think it came out in 2001. And it finally, now it's 2021, and they're finally doing it for Paramount Plus. If Paramount Plus is still here in 6 months, but we'll see. What's it like for you as an executive when you wanted to get a title out and you couldn't get it out? Like what were some of the roadblocks you faced? Okay, well, let's talk about Star Trek, because obviously you and I both love it. Yes, Star Trek. Yes, let's talk about Star Trek. I do love Star Trek. By the way, I just want to say I didn't put you up to this. I wasn't teeing you up. You brought this up on your own. I did. But I do love Star Trek, as you know very well, since we've known each other forever. And, like when we were talking yesterday, when I went to Paramount
the first three things that popped into my head were Star Trek, Indiana Jones, and Godfather. Obviously they were great catalog.
God bless you, lady. God bless you.
But it's like, oh, I'm working at a big studio now, and I get to work on these. This is amazing, So those were great to work on, and Star Trek: The Motion Picture and The Godfather were amongst the first things I worked on because we did that first big Godfather box set back then too. So it was really great. It's like I jump into a couple of my favorite things right away. With the motion picture, the movie itself was already finished when I started. And I met a couple of the guys who had produced it, David Fine, Mike Matosino. When they delivered it, they had already delivered it, and they had already done it and finished it in standard def, which I thought was a mistake at the time. But that's what they did because, of course, it was made and budgeted for home video. So, yes, over the years, especially once Blu-ray kicked in and HD TVs took over in homes versus, nobody had 4x3 standard def TVs anymore. They were getting rid of them for their big widescreen TVs at their homes. And you couldn't release Star Trek: The Motion Picture Director's Edition because it was standard def.
Yep.
So what happened when we did Blu-rays of those movies, the only way to do a Blu-ray was spend the many hundreds of thousands or whatever the budget may be to recreate the Director's Edition, which no one wanted to spend.
Millions, Annie, millions. They need millions. They don't even have enough money now. They're doing it now. Give them millions of more dollars. Millions.
Whatever it would take, they didn't want to spend, so they mastered the theatrical release. Now, again, as we discussed before, I do see value in releasing the theatrical version. I love being able to buy and own the version I saw in 1979. Even if Robert Wise wasn't happy with it, that's what I saw back then, and I want to have it. Do I want his director's version too? Absolutely. Do I want it in HD? Absolutely. Would I love to see it? I hope it gets a theatrical release next year. I will go and see it in the theater. Absolutely. So I'm glad finally that they're doing it. And it's a matter of, obviously, sales, yes. It brings a lot of publicity to Paramount Plus, which I'm sure that's what they want, which is why they're putting it there first. But I do hope that it gets a theatrical release, even if it's a limited one.
Oh, I think it should. I mean, I've always said on this channel that any theatrical release adds value to a film, no matter what it is. Now, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the future on this show, Dieter and I? Dieter, you still love to buy physical media, don't you?
Correct. And we still hope we can do the show some years.
It's true. I mean, my God, I can't believe we've been doing it this long. I mean, a year ago I was asking you to buy me Rollerball in 4K, and now we're on the 44th episode of this show. But so, Annie, do you think physical media has a future?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, too, because when we launched Blu-ray, I kind of thought that would be the last physical format. And, I mean, I'm happy we have 4K now, but I really didn't think we would have 4K. I thought Blu-ray would be it. Because everything was...
Why did you think that?
Because you could see the writing on the wall with everything going to streaming and digital, and nobody wanting discs anymore, and everyone pushing buy digital, buy on iTunes or buy on Vudu or whatever. Yes, it's convenient. It's great. I have about 300 plus movies in my digital library that I can take with me anywhere.
That's it. You're out. You're out of the family.
Yeah, but you have to understand, did I buy any of those? No. They are digital redemptions that I got from buying discs. Or digital redemptions of a lot of Paramount movies when I was testing, so I have those too.
Oh my God, you're not redeemed. Just because you have no, you're not redeemed. Don't call them redemption.
Well, it is a redemption.
You're anathema to this channel.
Enter a code and redeem your movie. So there is that advantage to take it with you anywhere. We don't have to have a physical disc with you. But
why are you even on this channel? By God.
But hang on.
Shameful.
Listen, come on.
Okay.
Discs will blow out of the water any streaming service on Earth.
Wait. Could you please say that one more time?
The picture and sound on a disc will blow out of the water any streaming service on Earth, period.
And that is why we love it.
We rest our case, Rob.
Yes, my God. Somebody clip this out, put it on Twitter. Annie just speaks the truth.
But it is the truth, and that's why, for me, like you guys, I will continue to buy discs. And I'll buy them as long as they're available.
Until they pry them out of your cold, dead fingers.
Okay.
Physical media forever. Yes.
Physical media forever. I mean, I'm sure, like you, I have Laserdiscs still in my home. I still have VHS still in my home. I mean, there's things that I just won't part with.
Well, my Japanese Dawn of the Dead box set on Laserdisc is never far from my heart. Just so you know. So you're right. We'll never get rid of our physical media. Ever. So now, but okay. So, but still, physical media lives and dies based on the transfers. I mean, obviously, now people are remastering, they're remixing. We've got Dolby Atmos, and it's expensive. It's not cheap to do a great transfer of a film, and a lot of the time, the filmmakers are no longer with us. So, right. So as somebody who is involved in creating those masters, what are some of the pitfalls or problems that would occur when you're mastering something?
Well, if you're going back to an actual master, if the talent is around, I know that they would definitely contact and get them involved. If the talent isn't around, you go back to, previous versions to make sure it looks the way it was originally intended. I know in the really deep catalog, when you're going back to really older, a lot older films, they would find old release prints to view them, to see what it looked like, and try to make it look like what it's supposed to. That, again, is not something I personally am involved with, but I know that that's what they would do, which I like. I mean, I loved working on a big studio lot with a huge library like that. I got to see movies in screening rooms that I'd never see in a movie theater, unless you go to an Egyptian or something like that. So that was great. I mean, watching Saturday Night Fever in the big Paramount theater is great. That's really, really wonderful. And how many opportunities do you get like that? So I loved being able to do that. I remember they were working on The Court Jester, which is a movie I love with Danny Kaye.
Yeah.
And I got to watch a VistaVision print in a screening room of it. I mean, I was in heaven. I'd never seen it on a screen. I've watched it a zillion times on television. I have the DVD, obviously. But being able to watch it in the screening room is wonderful, Roman Holidays, Boulevard. I mean, I love watching those movies, and I love being able to see it on a big screen, which was a nice thing about working for a big studio.
Well, I mean, obviously, you will be working for a big studio again. And we need you out there. We need someone who has that enthusiasm to bring us what we want, which is the greatest transfers that exist. I mean, obviously, nowadays, and by the way, I'll give you an example. So, Tango Shalom, the movie that I edited and produced, it was finished at 4096 by 1716 pixels, and that is the standard widescreen thing. I mean, that's what, and being able to master something at that high of resolution is it's beautiful. I mean, you look at it and you're like, my God. And if we weren't we shot it digitally, so we didn't have to deal with grain, but I've seen grain at 4096 by 1716. and it's beautiful. I mean, you see it; it's preserved, and when you have somebody that really knows what they're doing, and they create that kind of an image, and you have it reproduced, it is gorgeous because it still feels. You still have the texture of what we grew up watching in the theater. You know, you feel it. And that's what we have. We have the technology now to preserve that. And I think that's important. I think it's important to we now have home video that can reproduce the photochemical feel of movies. And people want to get rid of that photochemical feel, but we can't. We need to preserve it, don't we?
Yes.
God damn it.
Films should look like films. I mean, and people put film grain into stuff they shoot digitally to give it that same feel, you know. So it's definitely, like, I've seen test presentations on the super high frame rate, like what the Hobbit movies came out.
Yeah.
It takes getting used to because you're not used to that look or even that frame rate. It is a little too photoreal, you know. So there's something about the way movies look, and especially older movies that were shot on film, that I think a lot of people try to recreate even today, shooting digitally.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're Christopher Nolan and have to shoot on film, because that's all you'll shoot on, you know. He's a little unique, obviously. But I love his movies, and I love the way his movies look. So...
Well, I mean, now let me ask you this. You are still somebody who buys physical media, yes?
Yes.
What did you buy this week, Annie Caprillion? Did you buy a disc this week? Because on this show, we always like to show off what we purchase. What did you buy this week?
Well, not this week, but I did buy, since you asked me to bring show and tell, the last purchase I made was Black Widow.
4K Steelbook. 4K Steelbook.
I love it. Love this movie. I haven't ordered it yet, but I will order Shang-Chi because I thought it was great too. So I'll be getting that one as well. And I do love the steelbooks. I do get steelbooks whenever they're available.
Did you get the Indiana Jones steelbooks?
I did not, actually. That one I bought the regular version. I didn't really care for the steelbooks.
Wow.
Interesting. There are a few occasions where if I don't like the artwork of the steelbook, I'll get the regular version. And that one I get the regular version.
Well,
you and I park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay.
Wow.
Because I bought the normal edition as well from Raiders.
Oh, you guys. Well, Annie, I want to thank you for, I browbeat you into coming on this show. And
But it was great.
I want to thank you for being here and being a part of Let's Get Physical Media, and bringing your institutional knowledge that we still respect on this show, even though others might not. My God. So thank you for being here.
Thanks.
We will call upon you in the future. You must come. Will you come back to the show?
Oh, sure. This was fun.
Okay. All right.
I was expecting.
All right. I know, like yesterday at noon, you're probably going, you were getting your tires fixed, right? You didn't know you were going to walk into some bar that I was sitting there getting my crunk on. And you're like, and I'm like, oh, Annie, you would need to come on our show.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting that. It was really great to see you. It was fun yesterday afternoon.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you and showing us what you bought this week. But Dieter and I must soldier on and continue to talk about this very subject we love and know so well, which is physical media. So, Annie Caprillion, can people find you on social media?
Well, I'm not really active on Twitter. I do have my Facebook and my Instagram, but
all right, people,
yeah.
Is it your name? Because, you know, some crazy dudes are going to be stalking you going, well, I don't think the bitrate for this was as good as it should have been. Can you tell us what it is? Because I would be one of those guys, but I already know you. But because of this, you're going to get all kinds of weird people going, well, I take no responsibility. By the
blaming me for something I worked on 10 years ago?
Yeah, and they will. I mean, I will too. I just won't because I'm polite. I won't do it on the show. But
Oh, okay, good.
so, all right, Andy Caprillion, I want to thank you for being here, and
Thank
it was a delight and a pleasure having
Live
you on.
long and-
Come on, we always do that. Put your hands up. Yes, there we go. By God. All right, Andy Caprillion, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. It was
Have a nice
fun.
Sunday.
Thank
Annie, thank you for being here. We will talk with you later. And that was amazing. So,
Awesome.
Deets.
Awesome.
Deets.
So you randomly bump into people, Rob.
Dude, I randomly bump into people. Like cute girls that worked at studios. I mean, that's pretty much... I want to write a book. Cute girls that work at studios. That should be... Well, it's not exactly... It hasn't always worked out well. But with Annie, she is one of the great people in Hollywood. I mean, she loves what she does. She is... You know, if you have her working for you, consider yourself lucky because... My God, she knows her shit.
Definitely. Considering she started with the DVD at the beginning, that's awesome.
I know. I mean, she was there. She was there. The entire. What's interesting about her life is her professional life is she saw the entire transition from standard def to DVD was standard def, but DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, and you know, like she said, she thought Blu-ray was going to be the end of the line. Now we're at 4K, and I believe 4K is the end of the line. I mean, because it just
definitely, Rob.
Yeah, the world
will not have anything beyond that.
So you know, I do like the fact that you will just if I throw something at you, I'll contact you all the way in Saarbrücken. And I'm like, hey, bruh, I just ran into somebody randomly. We're gonna have a guest on our show, and you're like. You're probably thinking to yourself, okay, you know, all right.
The first thing I thought, Rob, when I saw, video message, probably another signing autograph for me. I was surprised that it wasn't something different.
But it was different. But you know, I know how
I always like when I get video messages.
I send you video, and she was delightful. She gave you a great video message.
Yeah, totally. Already saved in the folder.
So Dieter. Where are we at this week? I mean, where are we at in the show? I've sent you letters. You're going to talk about what happened in the live chat, or should we show stuff?
First up, Rob, I would like to thank you because I took your recommendation to heart, and I watched The Chestnut Man on Netflix. It was really great series. You could puzzle along, you know, who the culprit is, and I haven't. Read the book, of course.
Don't say who the culprit is. Come on now.
No, I wasn't aware that it was based on a novel. I wasn't aware of that, and it was totally like you said, half hour in, and I almost binged it on one day. But I had to make two days. It was totally great, and what I liked, you were never farther than the detectives themselves.
Right.
There were some red herrings where you could figure out, okay, this will go that way, this will go that way, but I could point a finger on the culprit at all for me. It was really nice series from Denmark again, Rob. Denmark.
Yeah,
again. Yeah. So your recommendation was really well done, Rob. Squid Game. Have you caught up with Squid Game? God damn it, Rob.
You know what? I feel terrible. You know, 200 Watt Studio sends a super chat and says, "Is Rob still drunk?" No, I'm not. But I haven't. I mean, I'm not still drunk, and I still haven't watched Squid Game. And I feel, I am a bad purveyor of. I'm a bad imagination connoisseur, Dieter. Bad imagination connoisseur.
The hype is real, Rob. The hype is real. Considering Squid Game,
it's you. Well, if you like it, I mean, and you're the trash panda. If you.
But Rob, I would put the Chestnut Man a little bit above even the Squid Game, considering the two series.
Well, what's interesting is like I had heard about Chestnut Man, the Chestnut Man, and you know what? That opening scene where a cop in 1987, where a cop just drives in like, I'm looking for his cows are out.
His cows, yeah.
Dude. Wow. I mean, that opening scene pretty much like, holy mother of God. I didn't know it was going to happen, but my God, after watching that first 5 minutes, I was locked in, man. I was in, right?
And I have no idea how well it holds up to the novel itself.
I don't either. But you know, I've been to Denmark. I spent 2 weeks in Copenhagen, and with a delightful girl that I grew up with, Sina, and I thought Denmark was just a lovely place to be. I never want to go back. After watching that show, fuck the Danes. I'm never going back.
And
no, I'm kidding. I'll go back. Sina, I'll come back.
Yesterday, I finished Ted Lasso, second season. Awesome.
What do you think of the final episode?
I loved it, Robo. Is it not? Did you not?
No, I was just curious because they turned a character. I want.
Yeah, this is the only thing.
Fuck
on
that
the
guy.
Negative side that they switched Nate a little bit too strongly in another direction.
All right. Well, he's a dick.
But other than that, great show still. And I have to mention one of my friends, because Rob, since we doing this show, I've got more contacts in my phone. I've got contacts now in Australia, in England.
Yeah, because they'll want you to buy them German discs, like me. I don't even like you. I just made you buy me stuff.
Yeah.
I do love you. You're like my brother, sir.
And one of my contacts in the UK, it's his birthday today, and I say, Glenn, happy birthday to you. He always leaves comments in the comment section. So he's a faithful watcher of our show.
To you. Happy birthday to you.
Glenn. To Glenn from the UK. So I don't forget him.
Well, thank God you didn't say Emma Bannon, because she, I mean, you know what? It's funny.
We will come to Emma when we get to the
okay, because she, I mean, her jokes, man, come on.
Yeah.
Her jokes actually have a physical manifestation. I mean, they hurt me. Her jokes hurt. Physically. Hurt.
Her humor has a specific taste, Rob.
Yes, it has a taste. Yeah. That's what she said.
And when we started the show, Bill Barclay wants me to ask you, have you seen the Doctor Who trailer for the episode on Halloween?
No. I didn't know. Has that come out? I have not. I have not seen that.
No, me either, because I not that well knowledge considering Doctor Who. And Rob, considering you have seen 007, I have seen 007, even if it's just a drop on a hot stone considering the German box office, but I would like to get you a little bit of the German box office just to see the comparison. I told you that Tune has more viewer attendance in 2 weeks less than Shang-Chi, but more viewers. 007, Rob, only needed the weekend to have more viewers than Shang-Chi in 5 weeks or Tune in 3 weeks.
Wow. So what you're saying is people like 007.
You just see how long this franchise is going, how big the following is. So it had more viewers only through the first weekend, more than Shang-Chi in 5 weeks or
now,
in
Dieter,
3 weeks.
you saw No Time to Die, yes?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Like Europe, I was not really thrilled with the less outing and the more.
Would you say that James Bond did not have a license to thrill this time out?
He lost his license to fun, like you.
Oh wow! Wow. No. Okay.
And I really dug. Just respect. I dug the opening mission, but like you said, considering he just sent Madeline to the train station and you better go now, bitch. You know, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? Come on now. I have many problems with that film.
Yeah. Rob, we still need that Elizabeth shows from you too.
Elizabeth is coming back. Whining about movies will be coming back this week. Everyone's asking.
We can get deep into No Time to Die. You know.
Yeah, and we will get very deep into No Time to Die. Now, my question. Okay, I don't want to interrupt. Keep going.
No, I just wanted to give you a little bit of the German box office, because for me it was even for me it was surprising that 007 just needed the weekend to have more viewers than those other two movies again. And considering, of course, the live chat from last week, so previously on Let's Get Physical Media, I start with Pollock Wayne SK wrote in and he said, "Wow, I'm more shocked. I understand every word Dieter is saying, and I'm in South Africa." Okay. Lucky you that you can understand me. And here she is, the lovely Emma Bannon. She has actually said I was right with something. She said, "I actually agree with you on No Time to Die.
What?
Good beginning. Yeah, good beginning. Rest was pants, and the drama was melodramatic nonsense." That was a lovely Emma Bannon. Donnie Pearson was in the live chat. "Speaking of Cobra Kai, I'm stoked about season 4 happening on New Year's Eve on Netflix." Donnie, we all are. We all, of course. Dean Migadich lost all credibility to say anything because he said, "Never seen any of the Evil Dead films." God
What?
damn it, Rob. Perhaps he's trolling. I don't know anymore.
You know,
No, Rob,
Dieter, I have a
people in the
credit.
live chat.
I worked on Army of Darkness, and my
Yeah,
name
I
is
know.
in the end credits. Just saying.
So why isn't Army of Darkness in the big box set?
Well, the rights are owned by someone else, and to me,
Okay, yeah, you're right. Isn't it MGM?
it's Universal.
To some Universal. To some,
Yeah.
correct. Joe Kay said, "Why does Dieter have a Gungan behind him?" Joe, this was not a Gungan last week. This was a small soldier. It was a small soldier thing. And the Migadich again. "Is Rob trying tell Dieter something with the empty bag of Haribos?" Yes, Dean, he is. He's trying to tell me, "Send me more, you douchey douche. Send me more. The bag is empty." You know, I've seen that empty Haribo bag behind Rob. Okay. Then Bill Barclay. "No Time to Die and Venom 2 were great." Is he trolling, Rob? I don't know. No Time to Die and Venom 2 were great. Unbelievable. Bill Barclay. Then the viewer name. We have great viewers. Poop Die P said, "Rob should invite Jeremy Chance on his next episode of Let's Get Physical Media." Okay.
Would you look? It's our show. I couldn't invite someone on. I mean, it's not like I run into Annie Caprillion, who I've always loved. She walks into a gin joint, literally into a gin joint, where I happen to be having a meeting, and I can ask her. Jeremy Jones is he lives in the Pacific Northwest. I could call him. I mean, I would ask you, Dieter, would you like to have Jeremy Jones on this show?
Definitely.
Well, then look, I'll call him up. He's a very nice guy. He loves his Hot Toys figures.
Yeah. And since he has a rating, I would buy it on Blu-ray. I would think he buys Blu-ray.
Yeah, I think he does too.
Movies. Yeah.
You know, he
And
used to be a
Poop-
projectionist.
Oh, great.
He actually worked in movie theaters. Yes, he did.
Oh. So he has even more knowledge than just meet the surface level.
Yeah, no, I mean he has institutional knowledge. Yes, sir.
So let's get him on the show, Rob. Jeremy. So,
All right, Jeremy Johns. If I don't know if he watches Let's Get Physical Media, but if you do, I'm going to make you. I'm going to call you. By the way, he's a really great guy. I mean, genuinely a great guy.
Had a Schmodown episode against him?
Yeah, I
Do you
lost.
remember?
I lost.
Yeah, okay.
God
And-
damn it!
God damn it, Rob. And Poop Die P wants to know, when is Tango Shalom coming on video on demand, Rob?
Well,
Can you-
so it comes out on Tango Shalom. Oh, this is terrible on this show. It comes out on DVD.
Yeah, I told us.
DVD and video on demand on October 29th.
Okay.
DVD, vanilla, no special
Do
features.
you know the platforms, Amazon or something like this? Or
would you like me to show you? I hang on. Give me a second. I can show you. Actually, I probably shouldn't do this because they'll say it's still in theaters. So Rob, don't promote the fact that it's coming out on other platforms. So, okay, I won't, but hang on. I'm looking. Dun, 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 dun. Well, it's somewhere here. You know what? I can't find it. There's so many. If I had done this before, I could find it, but there's too many things. It comes out on every platform.
Okay.
I mean, it will be everywhere from Amazon to Vudu to Vimeo to on October 29th. But if you live in Boca Raton, Florida, please go see Tango Shalom, or Ohio this weekend. Please go to the theater. Please spend your money. It would help us enormously because it's still in theaters, dude. It's the 6th week Tango Shalom is in theaters. And by the way, if you didn't know what that is, it's a movie that I produced and edited. Here we go.
I had a dream.
Hashem told you to dance in a tango
A
contest?
dancing teacher wants to tango with you?
Critics are raving about Tango Shalom. It's clever and inventive, with right chemistry on and off the dance floor.
You're a lunatic!
A funny and thoughtful family film with a warm heart and a playful spirit. From the director of My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
Oh, that's my Fernando.
Tango Shalom, in select theaters now. If you can't pimp your own movie on your own YouTube show, what good are you, Dieter? What good are you? I ask you that question.
Unfortunately, I can't pimp it, Rob. But it looks like you get out of the theater with a little bit more joyous fun.
You know what? I would like to think so.
I was okay, you know. But after Tango Shalom, you probably have a little light step in your walk home.
Do you know what I'm doing today? I am going to Warner Brothers. I am going to the actual studio because a person, Just a Brown Girl, as we know her around these parts, Just a Brown Girl called me up. She's a fellow filmmaker. She's made a feature. She said, would you like to accompany me to go see Dune on the Warner Brothers lot? And I'm like, here's my answer. Fuck yeah, I do. Yes. The answer is yes. So thank you, Just a Brown Girl. And by the way, what's really interesting is you have to call in advance, and you have to and make sure that you show your I have my passport. By the way, I'm a whore for the brand Toomey, so I spent $100 to buy this ridiculous passport holder. But what's great about it is, and I guess I can't show my actual because I don't want people to like frame grab it or whatever. But here's my Vax card.
Okay.
It's right here. Look, it says CDC on it. So anyway, you have to call up every 24 hours. You have to go to this Warner Brothers site and say, yes, you don't have COVID.
Oh.
You have to do it. So I have to do it. I haven't done it yet, but I haven't done it yet today. I think I did it 4 times yesterday because I'm like, I'm not going to.
When will we get your thoughts on Dune? Tomorrow?
I think maybe tonight. I'm going to have to go on and do a Dune review.
Great one. We're looking all forward to it.
You've already seen it. You didn't like it.
Yeah. Rob, I really wanted to love it. It's the same with No Time to Die.
I know.
But it was okay. Like Terry said, the spice didn't only drizzled. Only drizzled.
It didn't flow.
Didn't flow. The lovely Emma Bannon was in the live chat again. Why does Dieter have a pole in his room? Is he an exotic dancer of some kind? And what she means is this one here, but it's just a lamp. It's not a pole to dance with.
I don't know. I like to believe that you are an exotic dancer.
Yeah,
I think it's important.
And lovely Emma Bannon said again, I think we need a demonstration. No, Emma. Don't want to.
Come on, man.
Probably. Okay, it can only go both ways. You have a nice laugh, or it will be that cringy that you said that was not to the best of my abilities.
Wow.
And Tom Jr. Jackson answered, well, Emma, I guess Dieter has to exercise somehow. Tom, I don't know what you are talking about. I Googled exercise. It doesn't show up in my translation program. I don't know what this word means, exercise, Tom. I have no idea, Tom. Okay? And Tom said, to Emma again. You know, Dieter plays Pour Some Sugar on Me when he's on the pole. Tom, that would be the song that I would choose. And the lovely Emma Bennett answered, Song Ruined. Song Ruined for the final time. Unbelievable.
Oh, you know what? Now I'm just gonna I'm gonna play Pour Some Sugar on Me and dance for Elizabeth in my skivvies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. In the karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Victor Fontaine said it last week, and he doubled down. And yes, I bought a Black Widow steelbook, and it is sitting on its permanent spot on the shelf. But he will probably not watch it again. But yes.
But he bought it. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
He bought it.
And considering you all know Emma's humor is like a virus, it's probably infected Stubble McShave the most. Because I can't make any of this joke. If it's a joke, he said to Emma, Dieter may have a pole in his room because he tries to get on good terms with the Polish people.
That's a bad joke.
Bad joke.
It's a bad joke. Stubble, it's bad. I love you, man, but that's a bad joke.
Victor Fontaine came back, like we discussed on our show, Rob.
Sure.
Have seen the same thing as Rob. Have to turn the Dolby Atmos track volume up on Marvel movies about 5 dB higher.
Yeah,
than other
the
movies.
The Dolby Atmos tracks. Shame on Disney for the physical media. You know what? I've never been disappointed or as disappointed as much by a lot of the Disney releases. It's like they're intentionally fucking with us. Look, Disney, I'm a Disney Plus subscriber. Don't fuck with my physical media. Like it's like in the Stand, the original Stand, the Mick Garris directed. Don't fuck with my disco. Come on now. Why do you have to do that? Why
put the volume at the correct level?
Yeah, like give me a fucking break, Disney. You used to have the best transfers ever. You should re-release all of your Marvel films,
especially Infinity War and Endgame with aspect ratio.
Bruh. Come on, give me the IMAX ratio that we deserve.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. You're horrible people, Disney.
Yeah. And
I love you though.
I
do.
At the last one, Zachary P writes, my German grandpa, or Opa is the German word for grandpa, told me a German word that had every letter in the alphabet was a shipping or fishing company. Zachary, there is a word, this is probably what your grandpa told you, but it's not having every letter in the alphabet in it. But the word that your grandpa probably told you is Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaftskapitäns.
Wait. That sounds like something that came out of my ass. What? Say that again. What?
Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaftskapitänsmützen.
Jesus Christ.
Letters. It's Donau is the river. Dampfschiff is a steamboat.
Wait, what?
And it's the
what is that word? Say it again.
It's the river steamboat.
No, say that word again.
Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft.
Jesus, dumb shit. Dumb shit. It's dumb shit.
It was just Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft, and they just added stuff, Rob, to make the word longer, you know? And I could only think about that word considering Zachary P's thing in the live chat.
I don't know what to say.
I stumbled across the news, a little bit of streaming. HBO Max will start in Europe in some countries on October 26th.
Well, congrats, because you can get rid of that VPN service and stop stealing from us Americans.
No, Rob, not for me, because they are still in contract with Sky.
Oh, well, I know you actually pay for it. You do pay for HBO Max.
Correct, Rob. Don't forget, I pay for it.
Just because you're a pirate using your VPN, you do pay for your piracy, and I appreciate that. I respect that. Cheers to you.
Rob and I, perhaps you stumble across the news too. Studio Canal in Germany, Austria, and Swiss will change the distribution to Koch Films. Koch Films will distribute the Studio Canal stuff.
Hey, speaking of that, where's my Dune box set? What's up, brother?
Rob, it's coming out at some point, but
I don't have it though. I don't like I'm going to see Dune today, the new Dune, but I don't have my German. Look, man, the only reason that we're doing this show is because, let's face it, you got me rollerball. I mean, when it comes right down to it, if what have I sent you? I got a shelf back here of just shit that's yours.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally have a shelf right here.
Just Rob, when you go to the post office, make an exchange. Drop a little bit.
I mean, you've been very nice about it, but let's be real. Like, you've sent me hundreds of dollars worth of discs. I've sent you exactly jack shit. What kind of friend am I? What kind of friend am I, Dieter?
I'm still waiting on your big blockbuster break, you know? I told you. When you make that 50 mil on the first opening weekend, I will come for my money.
Well, I'm gonna buy you a new home theater system. I'm gonna set it up in your house.
4K TV, Rob.
Oh, dude, you know, you're gonna have a projector. You're gonna have Atmos. Your entire where you live right now is gonna have speakers installed on the ceiling.
Awesome.
We're gonna rock the house, or as you would say it with me now.
Rock you like a hurricane.
Yes, my
Rob,
God.
I would say let's show some stuff.
Let's show some stuff. Okay. Well, I already showed but let's bring it out.
Yeah.
Let's just
Show us what you got, Rob.
Can I just talk about this? I look, I understand Space 1999 is basically a one-season show. Season 2 is not good. But my God, all the way from Australia does this come. I mean, it is the ultimate, it says right there, ultimate edition. I mean, by the way, look at this. Look at how that separates.
Awesome.
Look at that. How cool is that? So, and then it has 2 boxes in there. This is the ultimate. I mean, I have like 4 versions of Space 1999. This would be the 5th. Thank you, Australia. This is the definitive edition of Space 1999. It's better than Shout Factory's. It's better than the version that was released in the UK. So not only does it come, I mean, this is like multi-layered. I feel like this has a condom.
Just as it should be.
So
what is the label, Rob? From which label it came?
the label. Oh, you mean the actual company that made it? Let's talk about it's Via Vision, but it is, if you want to call it that, it's Imprint. I mean, Via Vision is officially, but Imprint is the Australian label. They have been releasing things like I bought War of the Worlds from them before Criterion put it out. And by the way, I have heard. Well, it's not Imprint, but someone is doing my most sought after George Powell production, Conquest of Space. I'm not saying who that is, but so Imprint did this, and I have to say it's fucking great. And not only are the transfers great, but look at this, dude. No one will understand. They're like, Rob, why do they make it orange? What? Because they made it orange because this looks like one of the space suits in Space 1999. It's so good. It's so good. And they released each season. I mean, this is Tony Verdeschi. This is season 2, but still, season 2, Bringers of Wonder. It's pretty good. But it also comes with this beautiful
booklet
making of, and it's really well done.
Eagle Transporter.
My God, yes. And everyone who knows me knows I have a fetish. Elizabeth would say, "Why do you like those spaceships? They look like giant bugs." I'm like, "Well, you had to be there." But yeah, this is a phenomenal set, and it has most of what's on the Shout Factory discs. Everything that's on the discs from the UK. This is an amazing, amazing set. And thank you to Bill Hunt for reviewing it. Yes. Awesome. It is awesome. I guess that's my special edition. What do you have? I have more.
Oh. Okay. Should I go, Rob?
Sure, why not? I mean, okay. I'm looking around going,
we're switching.
Wait. Yes, I'm looking for my discs. Where do they go?
Where do you have it, Rob? There they are. Come on.
I have them. Well, okay. So, well, our good friend George Feltenstein and Warner Archives released one of my favorite
Shift.
comedies of all time, Night Shift. I participated in a documentary about the films of 1982. I love this. Yes, Scott Mance is in it. I love this. He's producing that too. I love this movie. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you, George Feltenstein, for making sure that I now have this on Blu-ray. This is, of course, Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton. One of the funniest movies of all time. Also, someone I'm trying to get on the show, our director friend, Escape Room Tournament.
I'm still waiting on mine.
Dude, Tournament of Champions. I have not watched. This has a longer. Adam fucking Robitel directed this. Adam, obviously, he and I worked together on the Superman documentary I produced in Australia. Adam Robitel, if you're watching this, Adam, La Plume de la Tante. But thank you for making this. And this is, that was an Exorcist line. But this, very happy to have this. Very happy to have this. And Adam,
I've read on one of my websites, Rob, the longer version has a more frame story around the movie.
Yeah.
So it has a different beginning and an ending.
Well, thank God, Adam. I mean, my God. And then I have to say that I read a book once. I mean, I read books all the time, but I never bought this movie. I've never seen this movie. But I bought it this week. Perfume, The Story of a Murderer. Anyone who's ever read this book, the opening scene, if you want to read something that will never, ever leave your mind, read the book Perfume. Read the opening scene, dude. You will never, ever forget it for as long as you live. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So those 4 discs are what I bought this week.
Okay. So, switcheroo to my haul.
Yeah. What'd you buy?
Okay. What did I buy? Cat in the Backdrop.
Uh-oh.
Let's start with this one. Looks nice. Perhaps you know it.
By the way, Chris Holt says in the chat, love brokers. Yeah, he's seen it. He knows what Night Shift's all about. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. Perhaps you know it, Rob, from Severin. I don't know it. Cat in the Bag. It's called Midnight.
Wow, look at that cover, though. Oh, my God.
Looks like a Help Me Creep Show, a little bit.
Dude, that was half my girlfriends in junior high school, right there.
So Midnight, hope it's good. It says on the back, scanned in 4K from the negative of the long-rumored uncut version. Midnight.
Wow.
Cat in the Bag. Cat in the Bag. The next one I watched this week, and I wanted to recommend it to you if you haven't seen it, Rob. It's called Violation from Shudder. So you can watch it on
Wow, I don't even know that movie.
On Shudder. It's rape and revenge, Rob, but very different. It's from independent filmmakers. It's their, I think, first feature film. It is the only negative point. It is not too long, but you can easily could trim 15 minutes without losing any of the plot. But considering the atmosphere that the movie wants to create, it totally fits. And there are the story is not told chronologically. So at some point you get a little bit confused. Okay, what is this? Is this a flashback or are we a little bit forward? But it all comes clear at the end. And Rob, totally recommend for you who watches rape and revenge. But
we can't say that we love rape and revenge films, but as a genre, it's an interesting examination.
Genre, you see the Certified Fresh logo, but this is totally a different telling of that genre. So really recommend, Rob. But like I said, you can probably watch it on Shudder before you decide to get it, because this is the UK version. Unfortunately, not that much.
I was going to say I have not seen that. I don't think that's been released in the United States yet.
No, yes, Rob, it is released in the United States. Almost the same time. You can get
really
it in the
okay.
US as well. Yeah.
All right. Should I go and click on deliver to me? Click.
If you trust me, Rob, I would say yes.
I don't, Dieter.
So,
I don't trust you at all.
Then,
but you know what? If that's not true, I do. I consider you one of my dearest friends, and if you say to buy something, Trash Panda, I will buy it.
Yeah, correct. Considering
I didn't know who
it's
Scott
really
Adkins was.
From correct, it's from independent filmmakers, and totally loved it. But Rob, don't trust me. Just watch the review from Mark Kermode about it.
Oh, well, if Mark Kermode released, come on, dude. Then okay.
What
Okay.
he will say about the movie. Okay. Violation.
You know what? I'm going to Amazon right now,
Correct.
and
Look at it,
I'm going to
Rob.
click on violation because that's what she said. No, I'm just kidding. Perhaps not. Wow, Grady Hendrix booked the final support group. Anyway, hang on. So go ahead, please continue.
Okay. Rob, you showed it last week. Mine came this week. The Thing.
Oh yeah.
Collector's edition.
What do you think?
But it came from Amazon. It's not really. It's a little bit damaged.
Yeah, me too. I was a little pissed about that.
Yeah, but you ordered from Savvy, I believe. Rob?
Yeah, I did, and it came. But yeah, what's fascinating about this is that a lot of people mistakenly think this is from Studio Canal, and it's not.
It isn't.
It's Universal took they. And by the
But
way,
it's great
kudos.
how they did it.
Kudos to them, man. I mean, they made it look just like the Studio Canal.
They didn't need to do that at all.
No, and I have I have, well, it's not here anymore, but I have that version, the regular Universal version. But in Europe, the fact that they put that out, this is, Annie Caprillion would have done that. She would have done that. She would have made. It's really cool that Universal did that. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah. And I watched it yesterday, Rob. Totally loved the transfer.
Dude, is the transfer? It's gorgeous, isn't it? Oh my God.
The Blu-ray in it is the old first release from Universal.
Yeah.
So if you're just looking for a Blu-ray, buy a newer edition from Arrow or Turbine or something like this, because the Blu-ray in it is not from the 4K.
No.
remaster. It's the old
Fuck
one.
them, by the way, for doing that.
It's
But
the old one. But we buy it for the 4K.
Yeah.
Of course.
so good.
So the thing.
By the way, watching the movie again. I mean, that movie is now 39 years
40
old.
years old. Yeah. Next year.
What'd you think when you watch it again? Does it still
Rob,
have the
10
power?
out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yep.
Because
Agreed.
It doesn't get old. What I like, that John sets the movie in 1982. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if you see old computer screens, it's okay because the movie is set in 1982.
By the way,
watch the movie-
you realize we're already, like, we don't know it, but we're all the Thing.
Yeah.
We were all taken over. We just don't know it. Like
We don't.
at any one moment, Dieter, your head is going to open up and have teeth, and your brain will sprout legs we don't even know.
You know the scene when Palmer goes, "Are you fucking kidding?" That was the same reaction as the audience.
Dude. And that's David Clennon, the actor who says that. I mean, David Clennon, who plays Miles Drentel, and I mean, this is so deep. 30-something. That actor is fucking great. We last saw him in David Fincher's Gone Girl as the father of Amazing Amy. And good on you, David Clennon. You fucking rule. And when you say, "You gotta be fucking kidding," that's one of the great lines of all time, bruh.
Yeah.
So, you know
Totally.
what? Hats off. I don't have a hat, but if I did, hats off to David Clennon, because he's a fantastic actor. And if I ever get to direct a movie again, I'm just putting him in it just because.
But what is nice? The Blu-ray is the old one, but it has the prequel in it. So you get a prequel.
Yeah, you get which, by the way, I now I don't know if this is true. I heard in the prequel it was all physical effects, and the studio made them go back and.
That rumor I've heard too, Rob. It was planned physical, then they changed it, but I don't know if it's.
You know why? Because people that run studios, they're like, "Oh, okay, boomer, fuck you." You know what? If you had made the Thing with physical effects and like just spewed.
Because the ending was great, Rob. From my perspective, the ending was great. Because
The ending was it was.
immediately was connected to the Thing. So
You know,
and it's not that bad. But
wait. 200 Watt Studio says my Thing was damaged too. Amazon UK shipping sucks.
Yeah,
Picture looks great, but the audio is crap and totally mixed wrong. Do you feel that way? I didn't feel that way.
The audio is, there are some, for me, only little issues. You watched probably his channel 2, I don't know the channel, the boutique films, something like this. And he said when they throw the Molotov cocktails at the end, the crash of the glass is a little bit muffled, a little bit low on volume, considering older stuff. But for me, it was nothing that would take me out of the movie. So for me, it was fine. It is fine.
Well, our friend, by the way, 200 Watt Studio, who brought this up, also says, I carried a tape recorder with me when I was a kid because of Night Shift. I'm an idea man, because you remember Bill Blazejowski, who Michael Keaton plays, he's always going, idea for elimination of garbage, edible paper. Night Shift is one of the great comedies of all time. By the way, you know, Dieter, there are only 2 movies in the world that if today I was more successful and rich, I would make sequels to. And one came out in 1982, which was Night Shift, and one came out in 1983, which was Risky Business. I would make Day Shift and Riskier Business. And the fact that Top Gun Maverick, did you see, I don't know if this is the case for you, before No Time to Die in IMAX, they had a brand new Top Gun
with my showing, Rob, of No Time to Die.
No trailers
at all. No trailers at all.
Dude, they showed a new Top Gun trailer. I jizzed in my pants. I did. It was. I know you don't want to know that, but my God, they showed a new Top Gun trailer, which I don't even think is online. But
because the movie is coming out in May next year.
I mean,
if I'm right, or is it February?
Dude, it was like a girl that like kind of touches you when you're kissing her. I mean, my God, this trailer was. I'm like, oh my God, the trailer, the photography, the aerial photography, dude. I would buy Top Gun Maverick on Blu-ray, Steelbook, whatever, 4K. The aerial photography alone.
Just God. Like Mission Impossible, hopefully it comes with the IMAX scenes.
Dude, that trailer, and by the way, it's not online, I don't think. Well, maybe it is.
No, I don't
think it is, but my God, I'm sitting in that IMAX theater. I'm like, oh, wow. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you, Paramount.
Great. At least that was a nice goodie.
Yeah. Goodie. So please continue.
Okay. I love this franchise, Rob. Don't know about your take. This was probably, for me, not the best of the franchise, but considering if you're a fan, you should get it, of course. The Forever part.
I am a fan of the franchise, and it's funny, Rob, I keep forgetting to order this.
Rob,
I have the other ones.
Why isn't that a steelbook, considering this cover?
Dude,
wouldn't that make a great steelbook?
Yes, it would. It would. I love the Purge franchise.
Yeah, me too.
I do. I love it.
Considering franchise, you've got the first movie, and was a success, and then they continued. It was not, we're doing a series about this and this and this. So it evolved totally naturally, from my perspective, from one to the next. So the Forever Purge, for fans of the series, I would say totally worth getting.
By the way, I am right now on Amazon. I'm adding it to my cart. Thank you, Purge.
The only thing
people.
that I didn't like, Rob, has nothing to do actually with the movie. It's the widescreen aspect ratio. It's 185 to 1. So this is the first, I believe, who is just 185. And for me, this always gives it a little bit of that direct-to-video feeling.
Right. You know? Okay.
You know, so I like John Carpenter always uses, the widescreen.
Well, John Carpenter started using it for his first feature, Assault on Precinct 13. Yeah.
So I would rather have it in a little bit more widescreen to give it a little bit more cineastic.
What are you? Are you saying that they put it on video not the way it was shot, or it should have been shot?
No. It is probably correct. No, I was surprised, Rob, to see it as it's just 185.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right. You ordered it, Rob. The Forever.
Just did.
Great.
I just
and Violation 2, I hope.
did. That and The Green Knight,
Oh, awesome.
which all
I
comes out this week. So
Yeah.
there you go.
The next one, a German one. It's called Antibodies. It's an older movie. This is the cover, Antibodies. The director, Rob, you will probably know it, is Christian Albert. He made Pandemonium, the science fiction
Yep.
movie. This is an older movie from, I believe, 2000.
Is it good?
5. I don't remember anymore, Rob. But
Cat in the bag, then. Wow.
It's more a cat in the bag. It's a German, and it comes, strangely enough, Rob, it has a booklet. Comes with a booklet of it. It's I
good.
believe from 2005. You know,
Nice.
the good is the bad from next door. Something like this is the tagline. Antibodies. The next one from Shudder exclusive again. I haven't watched this yet. It's called The Power. Just looks
So
little
that's a
bit
cat in the bag
like
too.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Saint Maud, the certified fresh. Or better to have it than to have it not on the cover.
Hey,
Power.
God bless Shudder for making sure that their movies get released physically.
And it comes
Seriously.
Rob, with a commentary and behind the scenes photo gallery, so it's not completely.
Nice.
And this comes out, I believe, next month in US. This is from the UK. Unfortunately, no extras here. The US comes with extras, I believe. Reviews are a little mixed, but come on, Nicolas Cage in Pick.
Wow, you already have that on physical. I'm dying to see that. I haven't seen it. I can't wait. Who put that out?
It's has come out in the UK. Let me just check. It comes from, I don't know, Altitude.
God
don't know
damn
the
it,
label.
Dieter! I want that movie.
Yeah, but Rob, I believe the US will have extras. This has none extra features.
Well,
So you should go with the
what are you gonna do?
American one. And the next one I watched this afternoon, Rob, collector's edition. I bought House of Wax from Short Factory, and it has the original cover.
There you go.
can
Is it in 3D like the original?
No, Rob.
I know.
It's
Would be cool if it was though.
and considering I've said the thing plays in 1982, and this is a movie who begins 1974, and then it jumps and it says present day, which is always troubling considering if the movie gets older, how fast those movies get old with you say
And the
present day,
technology, the
and
cell
they have,
phones are always too old.
yeah. And one dude is filming with a video camera. Who's filming with a video camera these days?
Yeah, no one does that.
So-
We have our phones. It's all good.
But I watched it this afternoon. It's,
hang on.
It's other than No Time to Die. The first half, I didn't remember the movie at all. It's so long ago. The first half is actually more than mediocre, but the second half is really great for me, considering.
By the way, 200 Watt Studios sends in a super chat and says, Rob, next time you get a chance, please ask George Feltenstein when we will get a Blu-ray remaster of, or in 4K of Where Eagles Dare. By the way, you know what? I mean, no offense, but Where Eagles Dare, they kill Nazis. It's amazing. And it's one of my favorite World War II films. I think we should call George. Let's ask him.
Okay.
He might not pick up the phone. I mean, he might not. Like, I don't know. But I think this is a title that we all need to know about. And again, he might be talking to his dad on the phone. I don't know. So he might not answer. But why not call him? And this is very specific. And I'm like, hey, man, I don't know. He might answer. Or he might not. He might not even be home. He might be seeing No Time to Die. I don't know.
This early in the morning. The matinee.
Well, it's not that early. It's it's almost 1
Okay.
in the afternoon.
Hello?
George,
Hi.
it's Rob Burnett calling.
Hey, no.
I'm calling specifically because a viewer sent us money and specifically called you out, and he said, please ask George Feltenstein if we will ever get a 4K release of, wait for it, Where Eagles Dare. You're being silent.
I'm just trying to come up with the most accurate answer. It's never been discussed, but people know that the existing Blu-ray is not up to par. So I would say in the future, there's a good chance for it, because there's a guy in that movie that happens to be kind of royalty on our lot.
Wait, you know what? Would that be the guy that has Malpaso? I worked on the Warner lot 30 years ago and went into that office. As far as I know, it hasn't changed yet, has it?
It hasn't changed at all.
No.
And I've never met the man, but I've been in the office, and I've gone to meet with his editor and his right-hand man, Joel Cox, but he was never there.
Can't you just whatever it would cost to master that film, just send them the bill and they'll sign it. No one will know no one will know.
Well, see, that's an interesting case, because that's pre-Dirty Harry Clint.
Wait, you can't. You just sold him out. You've now told everyone who we're talking about. My God.
Oh well. Now the thing is that was a picture he made for MGM, and he was already a big star because of the Leone pictures, and his star was on the rise, and it was an epic big box office success at the time.
Yeah.
But it was before Clint took over, the creative vision for all of his movies. And, Where Eagles Dare and Kelly Shores were the two pictures he did for MGM.
Yep.
Right before the Malpaso era.
George.
I'd say the chances for that are very, very good, but who knows when it would happen.
I just want to say, as I'm talking to you, I'm holding my Night Shift Blu-ray from the Warner Archive Collection, one of the great comedies of all time. And I don't know why I'm holding it, but I would say, can't you just sneak it in? Like, I love Where Eagles Dare. Can't you just just slide it in, like just get the master and just say.
When it comes to the Warner Archive, it's my decision. When it comes to the 4K, it's a multiple personnel decision.
Well, you're live on YouTube. I think we should shame everyone into making Where Eagles Dare a 4K reality.
Ask what the movies are, and to find out the background on things that are a little bit more than 10 years old and whatnot. But that film also has a great success as a consistent top-selling title.
Yeah, well. George, HBO Max needs Where Eagles Dare. That's all I have to say is hey guys, wouldn't you like to have Where Eagles Dare in 4K? It stars Clint Eastwood. And by the way, we'll put it out on disc. And if you do, put it in that book like the Shawshank Redemption or The Right Stuff. You since you left, they've been slacking off. We want media books, man. Come on. Where Eagles Dare, a media.
To my knowledge, I don't think they've done any 4K in that format, at least in the U.S.
No, they have not, and that's why Dieter Bastian sends me them from Germany, because they do everything. Like I got an American Psycho box set that comes with a Patrick Bateman business card. Now, no one's doing that here in the U.S. I mean. George, you could make that. You could change that.
The differentiating factor is that in Europe they still have, in certain countries, actual video stores where you can go in and hold the package in your hand, the physical media in your hand, and look at it and ooh and ah, and people will see it. If you go to Finac in France, these beautiful packages. Our French office goes wild with these beautiful collections, things that are akin to things we did 10 years ago when we had Tower Video and Virgin Video, and there were places for people to go where they could look at physical packaging. When you don't have that browsing experience in the store, it's not the same as online. And it's harder to get that kind of traction. But, who knows? Vinyl came back. I have a dream. I'd love to see, video stores come back. Don't think it's going to happen.
Well, 200 Watt Studio says, George, please have the overture and the intermission on Where Eagles Dare. I mean, I would say, first of all, you do not have to tell George Feltenstein to have the overture or the intermission. He knows.
Yes.
So, George, I want to pin you down right now. I want it in 4K. Just can't you slide it into the schedule? Can't you just make it happen?
The thing is, if that was my role, yes. My role is more of part of everything is done in the 4K area. There are several people that make the ultimate decisions. When it comes to Warner Archive, I make the decisions. So now,
are you telling me that there are people?
I want to ask, will Warner Archive ever do 4K? Right now, that's not on the table. But who's to say what's going to happen in the future?
You know what? I think we should pressure. We should use social media and pressure Warner Brothers. Hello, Warner Brothers. I would like to get the right stuff in 4K. And Dolby Atmos, do a remix of that. And I would also like to get Where Eagles Dare.
So would I.
Yeah, and George, I don't want to make this a regular Sunday thing bothering you. By the way, have you talked to your dad today?
No. Soon. That's usually within the hour.
All right. Well, you tell him that I'm going to your friend Rob Burnett's going to see Dune on the Warner lot at 5:00 tonight.
At the Stephen J. Ross Theater.
My God. You should come. Come on, man.
I'm going to have you tell me how good the movie is.
Well, I will. And do you know to get on the Warner lot, you have to update your COVID status on a daily basis? Every day. I have to go on and it's, which is fine. I have no problem doing it. Well, listen, George, I want to
It's a whole system that they've worked out.
Yep.
You have to update it every day. And we're still all working from home, but the people who are in production and the people who work at our Warner Brothers Motion Picture Imaging facility, they have to come in every day. So I've only been on the lot a few times for special events that are, if they're indoors, they're masked and they're socially distanced, and if they're outdoors, there's a little more freedom in terms of people wearing masks and not wearing masks, but they put a huge premium on safety, which I'm very grateful for.
Me too. By the way,
go to work and get sick.
Well, Danzig 1979 sends in a super chat here live and says, ask George, or as George, champion the Donner cut of Superman 2. Is there any chance of a 4K release? Also, Superman 3 and 4, there's a director's cut. By the way, Superman 4 was directed by Sidney Furie. The Taking of Pelham, 1, 2, 3. I don't know why he directed for Canon Films.
I've done my homework on that big time.
And?
That's all I'm going to say.
Really? That's it? You've done your homework?
Yeah.
All right, bruh.
Anyway, I've done a great deal of research, and from what I've been able to garner thus far, there is a work print of the longer version that did not go to finish, so there are no effects in it. And I have not seen this. I'm going by notes that I found left by a former colleague from about 12 years ago. But we do have that. And I've certainly brought it to people's attention that it's worth at least giving
Right. Man, I got to tell you,
it was going to be a black and white work print with grease pencil.
that would not fly,
Right.
so to speak.
But I found the guy that wrote the notes. He hasn't worked for us for years. I called him up and I asked him, and he said, it is a color print. It does have sound, but it did not have certainly a finished audio mix, and it didn't have finished effects.
Right. Well, that makes sense. By the way, I have you on the phone. People are firing in. Kenneth Maynor says, if we can get Hammer's Dracula and Frankenstein franchises, the Karnstein trilogy, and The Devil Rides Out on 4K Blu-ray, I'll be a happy man. No, I gotta hand it to you. I mean, we got a great version of one of the Hammer Frankenstein movies recently, did we not?
That was a 2-year project, and I was determined to get it right in 3 aspect ratios.
My God, it is gorgeous.
Special features. So, we if all goes well, we might take the same approach with others of films that we own. You know, I would love to do that, but right now it's just something I want to do. It's nothing that I've put through the vetting process and run through a P&L to make sure that we can make money, which I'm sure we can, given the popularity and the huge, passionate fan base for these films. It's a great future that we're looking forward to.
Well, listen, I will let you go. I didn't think you'd pick up, but I think people demand. They demand.
Walking through the house, pick up the phone, saw as you have to pick up the receiver, and it's like, it isn't even something I could be conscious of, that I'm just having a conversation with you in my kitchen, and it's being beamed all over the internet, all over the world.
Oh yeah, and you make me look good because I just can call people like yourself, and we celebrate what you do, George. And thank you for everything you do and everything you're going to do in the next couple of years for physical media.
Thank everybody for the support of what we do, and especially the support we've been getting for the Warner Archive, especially since my return, has been spectacular, because we've really gotten so many nice notes and great sales, because I did program the whole release schedule before my sabbatical, as somebody likes.
Let's call it sabbatical. It's good. By the way, George, Dieter cannot hear what you're saying except live. But I would like to ask Dieter, do you have a message? Sent a message for George. Please give us.
Make all the wishes from our audience true.
Dieter says, make all the wishes of our audience members true. Well, you know what? I would say George Feltenstein is kind of like the Willy Wonka of, and by the way, a Warner title, the Willy Wonka of home video, right?
I try to satisfy everybody's heart's desire.
Oh,
my
God.
If we can have it be profitable for the shareholder at the same time.
Oh, but
that's very, very difficult balance. But my goal, there's so many different fan groups and groups of people that like one particular thing over another. And whether it's Hong Kong cinema or DC or classics or Hammer films, there are all these different groups, and each one is more passionate and knowledgeable than the next. And it amazes me. Our animation fans and the Looney Tunes fans versus the Tex Avery fans and the Tom and Jerry fans. And I want to please all of them. And I also want to make sure that I deliver a profit to the company. So it's a very delicate balance. And we've been profitable every single year since 2009 when we started Warner Archive. And having profits go up in a physical media business goes antithetical to what everybody's saying, right? So
I'm holding up my night shift Blu-ray. Warner Archive came out this week. Couldn't believe you released it. Thank you.
And there's a lot more where that came from in terms of the fan favorites. definite fan favorites that have been requested heavily.
Well,
So,
George, I want to thank you for picking up the phone today. You know I'm going to call you all the time because, I mean, it's Sundays on the phone with George. It's not like Sundays in the park, but it's Sundays on the phone with George. I want to thank you for doing what you do. Warner Archive did release Night Shift this week. It is a great title. It's one of my favorite comedies ever. And anyone who's watching,
look at, too.
oh, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And for everyone, if it wasn't for George Feltenstein programming this film, it would not be here. So, George, I will let you go. Please say hello to your father for me and tell everyone.
And you enjoy the movie.
My God, I will. And I'm going to Dune. I'm going to go onto the Warner lot. And I can't wait. And I'll send you a text. I'll tell you how I thought it was.
That would be great.
All right, sir. Thank you for picking up the phone. And
My pleasure.
I'll probably call you next Sunday.
Good wishes to you and Peter and all the people watching.
Yes, sir. Thank you
you.
so much.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was George Feltenstein, the guru behind Warner Archive. I can't believe he still picks up the phone. Dieter, would you pick up the phone if I called you incessantly on Sundays?
He probably think that you have questions to ask him.
You know what? We had viewer questions. Kenneth Maynor and 200 Watt Studio. I was able to... By the way, how many people can just call up studio executives and get answers to their questions? Only on this show, Dieter. If I didn't ask you to buy me Rollerball, we wouldn't be here right now.
No, totally not. This show has evolved out of the pandemic. Well,
And by the way, we're you know what? We still bring joy to everyone, don't we?
correct. Are there any super chats left, Rob, before I continue with my whole?
No, there are. There are. There are. Paul Wilkinson subscribed to the channel.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. 200 Watt Studio says. Well, I already asked. He asked about where Eagles are, but 200 Watt Studio said, "Oh wait, I'm going back." 200 Watt Studio says, "I carried a tape recorder." Wow, I've already said that. Wow, MCP Scotty says, "If you do a Dune review tonight, I would love to join you and hear all about it." Well, MCP, you've always been here for. I do membership every other week. We do membership, people who are members of the channel. I do long Zoom calls. And you, my friend, are a longtime supporter. So I will contact you about that if I do that. I don't know if I will. Danzig1979 asks, is there a UK date for Tango Shalom? I don't know. I mean, I have given it to our distributors. I know it's coming out in Benelux and Russia. It's opening in Russia on November 4th, but it will be available on video on demand on October. And if you're like Dieter, you can use your VPN and steal it. But please pay for it because we need the money. Stub McShave says, it's interesting to see international series make an impact in the U.S. with series such as Squid Game and The Chestnut Man. It probably wouldn't happen without streaming services that have an international focus in a way that the traditional channels don't have. Stubble is very actually right. I mean, one of my favorite things about Netflix is their international content. I mean, The Chestnut Man and India. I mean, whatever. We are getting Denmark or Germany with Dark. It's
Money Heist from Spain.
Yeah, Money Heist, so good. Isn't that one of the great things about streaming? Is that the world is being brought together? Is that true?
We get different flavors from all over the world with the streaming shows.
We do. By the way, 200 Watt Studio says, is Rob still drunk? Yes, I am. He also says, why didn't Bond use the EMP watch to disable the nanobites? Surely Q could have removed them if nanobites weren't completely fried.
Wasn't it only located that you could use it in immediate?
Yeah, but if you have nanobites in your body and you turn on the thing, You know what? 200-watt studio.
Now I get it. What
I mean, you're right. And that's why No Time to Die is a crushing disappointment. Because if you examine the plot, it makes... I still don't know what Safin is trying to do. Like, once he kills so-and-so, or everyone, what's he trying to do? Like, he succeeded in getting rid of the people, and yet he's got a whole island. Why are there people, like, stirring water in his, like what?
I missed. I probably have missed it.
No. I'm an astute viewer, Dieter. I'm like, why is this water? You have a giant pool of water, and there's people. Clearly, there was lots of this movie that was left on the cutting room floor, and I'm just like, okay. What are you guys doing here? You have a gigantic island, and well, my father used to make poison out of orchids. I'm like, I get that. That was Moonraker's plot. Moonraker, like Orchidea Negro, the black orchid, we're going to launch them into the atmosphere, and every human being is going to be killed. I get that. I understand that. But on this island, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who are these people? Why are they mixing? And it was you already killed. Sorry, you killed Spectre. You killed every Spectre person, including Blofeld. Spectre's gone. So now what are you doing? Dude, it was left on the cutting room floor. The entire plot of the villain, he was like... I can't even say what I think he was doing because I would get demonetized from YouTube. I get what he was doing. I get it because there was one line of dialogue that tells you what you were doing. But bruh, after Spectre's dead, the movie's over. Why does anybody care what you're doing on your island? Do you know, Dieter? What was Safin doing? What was Rami Malek doing? Do you know?
No. I have to watch it again. Perhaps I missed something.
The entire last third of the film, you know, I get it. My favorite thing in Bond movies is when like armies battle. Like in You Only Live Twice, they have a volcano base.
We want that gigantic ending with a Leia from the bad guy.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, Spy Who Loved Me. They've stolen 3 nuclear submarines in this oil tanker, the Liparis, and the battle is great when all the naval guys get out and everyone's fighting. It's awesome. But in this movie, you have a giant base at the end, and there's just Bond, not even wearing his Tom Ford bespoke suits. He's wearing a T-shirt and like suspenders, and like what are they doing there? Like what we don't know. We don't know because he's already killed the people that he wants to kill. What's going on in that movie? What's happening, dude? What are they doing? Tell me, Dieter. Tell me. What are they doing?
You tell us on.
I don't. I can't. I don't know.
Perhaps Elizabeth knows.
She doesn't know either.
Your friend Dave is in the chat. Hello, Dave.
Dave Parker says, "Hey, Dieter Batchen, and we had a great show last night. We had a great guest. Thank you very much."
Correct. So, Rob, are we done with the super chats, or is there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I look. Send in a super chat. Justin Toner, a great friend of the channel and one of our great moderators, says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. Both the new Arrow sets of Legend and the 4K Dune 3-disc steelbook were delivered to me this week." You got Legend before me. Both movies look fantastic. Love all the booklets, posters, lobby cards they both came with. As a fan of both films, I am very happy. Justin, why do you...
So.
No pictures? Come on, bruh. Send us some pictures. Willow, the great Willow Yang. Willow. I mean, you know what? I mean, if Willow actually like did like a swimsuit calendar, I would publish that shit. I would put it out like Willow Yang swimsuit calendar, PhD, Willow. Willow says, "When will we be allowed to talk spoilers for Tango Shalom?" I remember you saying that you ran into a roadblock because someone had a religious objection to the ending and wouldn't let you use their studio. I'm curious to know which scene offended them. Well, okay, let me dispel this. It wasn't that someone was offended. I was offended. I was like, in the film, there is a Muslim imam, and he does not appear at the end of the movie. And we have our Sikh mystic, our Catholic priest, and our Grand Rebbe, but we didn't have the Muslim imam. And I'm like, I don't like that. I'm like, you can't. There's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, and if we don't have our Muslim imam come back at the end of the film, but because his religious beliefs wouldn't allow him to do so. And I said to Gabe, it was the one thing, when you make a movie, you edit, you get rid of everything you hate. I'd gotten everything that I hated out of the movie as the editor. But what I needed was something that wasn't shot. I needed our imam character to come back. And I said to Gabe, I said, in the movie, you have the Grand Rebbe reading this letter. And I said, you know what we need? We need a flashback where our Grand Rebbe can read the first couple of lines, and then we cut to our Muslim imam in his mind as he's writing the letter. We have to cut that in the movie. And Gabe's like, you're right. And so he went to New York and found Yasir, the actor who plays our Muslim imam, who's, by the way, a paramedic in real life. And they found a Moroccan restaurant, and they actually shot him in his same outfit as the imam, writing the letter. So we saw it, and I cut it in. When they shot it, they actually shot it, and Gabe sent me the footage from New York. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I cut it in, and it's in the movie. And the very first time we showed the film was 2 days later. So we'd never shown it to an audience before, and I got to see it on a big screen, and it was delightful. It was really, really good, and it made the film. I think, because you have these 4 religious leaders, they have to be all together. We couldn't have left one out, and that was what bothered me. So Willow, you've only been on this channel once, very fleetingly. And you're hella cute, and you're very fun to listen to. You're now a doctor. I would say this, dear. Would you like to see Willow Yang come on this channel live?
Totally.
Fuck yeah, Willow.
On the top of the list, Rob.
Willow, come on now. If Dieter Bastian says you're on the top of the list, I'm going to shame you. Not shaming, but Willow, we want you to come on this channel, don't we? Come on, Dieter. Dietz.
Correct. Willow, where are you?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, where are we at now?
Okay, I have a little bit more stuff to show, Rob.
Please.
Okay, the next one, Cat in the Bag, Rob. Nice media book, but the movie is older. It's called The Prey.
Wow, that book looks great.
It's an older movie. I don't.
Is it Korean?
No, Rob. It's a Chinese movie.
Oh, okay.
Not
Sorry, people would be
Korean.
like, "Don't you know the difference?" I'm like, it wasn't about that. I didn't know. I mean, most of the like Korean cinema, they put out media books. That looks great.
Media book of The Prey, and in it, Rob, was this nice little card about sky sharks. Looks like the people who made
African kung fu Nazis.
or Nazis on the moon. What was it called?
Iron Sky.
Iron Sky, correct. Iron Sky. So
you know about Nazis, don't you?
Okay.
Oh, just kidding. You don't. I know you don't know anything about them. You're on the French border. What would you know about Nazis? Just kidding.
And on the back, strangely enough, I've talked about the movie From Nameless will come out. Violation, Rob.
Wow. Okay.
So I just, when I turned it around, I saw Violation is coming out from Nameless here.
Fantastic.
I don't know,
Fantastic.
when. And then I've got this Western I haven't seen it. It's coming out from Koch. Rob. Came out from Koch. Brimstone in 4K.
Wow, wow, that cover looks great.
From,
wow.
With Guy Pearce, Kit
Yeah.
Harington,
Yeah.
and nothing. Caris Van Houten is in the movie as well.
You gotta love that.
And help me at the code of
I think Clarice Van Houten and Guy Pearce are an item. I think they're married.
Oh, okay.
I think
So
so.
I haven't seen it. 4K from Rob Koch.
By the way, well done,
Brimstone.
Guy Pearce. Just saying.
Brimstone, a western. And we all have our movies that we know other people, or most people, probably don't love. And I don't know when the term guilty pleasure was invented, but the next one is totally, probably one of the cornerstones for guilty pleasures. I already had the movie, but considering the release, how it looks, I said, okay, I have to buy it again.
Wow.
Barry Gordon's, The Last Dragon.
Dude.
So it is like you have it, Rob.
You have to buy that for me. What the fuck? Shonuff! The Shogun!
Shonuff.
Shonuff. Wait, you are buying that for me, right? Come on now.
So this is
I
United
need
Living
that
Dead.
now. I need it. You cannot show this to me and not buy it for me. Come on.
It says
I
Nameless-
saw that movie opening weekend in the theater.
Yeah, I was in the theaters too. It once again, Rob, has the stickers.
Oh, dude, you have to.
The VHS
Okay,
stickers.
okay, yeah. I love. That was the same company that did Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
Dieter, you must buy that for me. I need that in my collection.
Inside we have the Blu-ray and the DVD, and Rob, we have actually a booklet in it.
Dude, I need it. You have to buy that for me. Oh my god. I mean, like, oh, it's not here. I put the Night of the Living Dead box in my collection. I love The Last Dragon. Oh my god,
Yeah,
Barry
me too,
Gordy's.
Rob.
You have to get that for me. Don't shine me on, Dieter.
Yeah, Rob,
need
I
you
have to be quick, Rob. Only 500. Of
Yeah,
the
well, get me
VHS
another.
edition.
It's probably sold out already, but god damn it,
No,
I
probably-
need it,
probably,
Dieter. I need it. I need
yeah,
The Last Dragon. How
yeah.
how could you not have told me about that? Come on now.
Yeah,
What?
I don't know what how your connection is with the movie, Rob. Okay,
Dude,
so
opening weekend, bruh. I saw that with Adam Carl in the theater, downtown Seattle.
correct. I seen it in the theater too, back in the day. Still love the movie, and I call it guilty pleasure.
Give it to me. Put it in my hands. I want it.
They released, I believe, 3 media books, and
It's like Apollo in Star Trek. I need it. You must.
They
I
released
need it,
3
Dieter.
media books, this VHS edition, and I believe a hardcover box too. So four different editions of the movie. It says here up on the back, but it's probably the same picture quality as it is from Sony, that it is remastered, but it's probably, I believe, probably the same.
No, it's
Same.
true. So here's the thing. You've got letters, right?
I've got letters, Rob, but unfortunately, Rob, Twinflix, our friend Paul, invited me to be on his show in half an hour, Rob. So I will save the letters for next time.
Oh my God! So are you ending this show?
Yes, because I'm in
You've
your
been
footsteps.
co-opted by
I'm-
somebody else, some other
yeah,
imagination connoisseur.
I'm streaming this show, then the next show, and I have to do a little break before I get to.
Okay, Dieter, why don't you
So I
plug?
will save the
Where
letters
can
for
people
next
find
week.
you? Where, like, I understand. You know, I'm no longer your top priority. I get it. I understand. Where can people
On the
find you?
Burnettwork, leave a comment in the comment section if you want to.
I'm gonna
know
leave a
more
comment.
about the stuff.
I'm done. No, I'm just kidding. Where can people find you in a half an hour, Dieter?
On Twinflix channel with Paul. He invited me, and we will talk about Riders of Justice, my favorite movie of the year. But if you haven't seen the movie, probably wait, because we will hopefully do a little bit like of Elizabeth Views type, go through the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, probably stay away, because for me it's a movie you should watch blind.
All right, then.
Going cold. So I will save the letters for next week.
All right, Dieter. Well, I want to thank you for another fine show. As Omar94 would say, it's not your longest show.
I will show at last this laser disc that I put out.
That was from Paramount. Andy Caprillion was probably responsible for that.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct.
Okay. Well, Dieter, I want to thank you for another great show. Let's get physical media. Apparently, imagination connoisseurs have co-opted you. You're no longer just mine, but you have to get me that Last Dragon disc.
Okay.
All right,
and
Dieter.
Don't forget, get your package from the post office.
I will.
Dave, your friend Dave in the live chat, stumbled across it. You should call him after the show immediately.
I'm going to call Dave right away.
Okay, but end the show first, Rob, and then you can call him.
All right. Well, Dieter, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. All you have to do is listen. And on that tip, we have a great group of moderators here on the Burnettwork. And we have Brian Hepburn. We have Twin Flicks. We have Lord Toth. Joshua Levesque, Tom Jr. Jackson, who I just randomly made a moderator. He doesn't even know. Thank you all for being you wielders of the blue wrenches. Thank you so much. And all the people that support the channel via super chats and tips, I cannot thank you enough. And whether you're tipping or super chatting, thank you so very much. I mean, today, Danzig 1979 sent us a very generous tip. Awesome. And he talked about the Donner cut of Superman. Yeah. And we didn't quite get the dish. I mean, George did say he did tell us a lot. He told us more about Superman 4 than I think we've ever heard.
He was talking through the grapevine, Rob, a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And you know what? If it wasn't for Danzig's question, we might not have pried that information out of George. Yeah. And the fact that he still picks up the phone, I want to thank him. I want to thank George Feltenstein for being the man. And by the way, if it wasn't for him, we would not have Night Shift from Warner Archives. My God, everyone should buy. You know what? Just buy. Go to Amazon and type in Warner Archives and just randomly buy something. I'm hoping that one day George will say, Rob, we are making a Blu-ray of Wild Planet. The amazing Franco-Italian co-production from 1965. I've said this before. All of you, before you go to Twin Flicks channel, go and watch the trailer on YouTube. Just type in Wild Planet trailer and watch it and tell me I'm not wrong. You want that on 4K. I want it on 4K. Everyone wants it on 4K. Dear?
And Rob, we want your opinion on Dune.
You're going to get my opinion on Dune because Just a Brown Girl and I are going. Dieter, I would say live long and prosper, but fuck you because you're going on someone else's channel. I should have signed you to an exclusive contract, but no, I have to let some other imagination connoisseur.
You get 10% from that.
Yeah, I do actually. You know what? I'm gonna call Paul. I you know what? The Twin Flicks bros. I like those guys. They're good men, but they're stealing my personnel. But all of you, go to Twin Flicks YouTube channel, and if you haven't had enough Dieter Bastian, you're going to get more
enough
of him.
Of the douche. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're not the douche. Nope, you're one of the great men on YouTube. I would say this. I mean, let's be honest, Dieter. I love you, man. I do. And it's okay. It's okay that you've forsaken me for another YouTube channel. You go bring your Dieter Bastian stylings to the Twin Flicks YouTube channel. By the way, go to their YouTube channel, subscribe and like, because I mean, if someone's gonna poach my talent, I want them to
away from you, from your answer.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Dieter.
Yeah. On that note,
be seeing you.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. My God.
See you next week.
Yeah. You will see us next week. Thank you.
Just quick, Rob, in the live chat.
Uh-oh.
P. Ferreira said, plot twist at the end. Dieter gets replaced next week with Willow Yang.
You know what? I would love that.
You would take that, Rob.
I actually, you know what? Willow Yang's not going on Twin Flicks channel. Willow Yang still, she tips every day. She writes me letters, and she's a very, very cute girl. I mean, she's a little too young for me, I think, problematic, but she can still be on the show. And you know what? You could be replaced. I just want you to know, when you're on Twin Flicks channel in a half an hour, just think about what this show would be like if Willow Yang and I did it together. Just think about that. She's a doctor, after all. What are you? What are you, Dieter?
Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, but I'll tell you what you are going to do. You're going to buy me the Last Dragon.
Yeah, the Last Dragon. Yeah, Rob. I know.
All right, sir. By the way, always a pleasure. And I want you to have a good time on Twin Flicks channel. But remember, please tell them to like and subscribe to this channel too.
Okay.
All right, Dieter.
Everyone, see you next week.
Well, okay. That's fine.